What's up, all you Minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and join me today for a look inside of the Transformers Volume 3 All Fall Down, and where it fits in the chronological reading order of Transformers. So, please stay tuned. And welcome back, everybody. Before getting started, a huge thank you to IDW for sending us a copy of the Transformers Volume 3 All Fall Down hardcover edition. So here we have Volume 3. Actually, this came out about a month or two ago, depending on where you got it from, the direct market or the book market. Now, this is Volume 3 of the all-new line. So this fits in with these two other books, The World in Your Eyes and The Change in Your Nature. So this is the new line of the Transformers. This has nothing to do with Phase 1, Phase 2, or the upcoming Phase 3 hardcovers. It has nothing to do with the original Marvel comics or the Dreamwave comics. It is its own continuity, but still published by IDW. But I did want to showcase what all the books look like together. Here are all the spines together. So you got the numbers up at the top, Transformers, the title, and of course the publisher IDW. And then the backs of the books, each one retailing for $49.99. The other thing you'll see besides the IDW logo is the Hasbro logo. And that's because Hasbro owns the rights to Transformers, and they're the ones that are licensing out Transformers to IDW to publish these comic books. Alright, so actually, there is one more thing I wanted to point out. Both Volumes 1 and 2 of these hardcovers have a slick feel to them. It's almost like a semi-gloss finish to both the front, the back, and the spines, whereas Volume 3 has a flat finish to it. There's nothing glossy, there's nothing shiny about it. So I found that interesting. I don't think you can really notice until you get really up close. So if they're sitting on the bookshelf, I don't think anybody's going to notice or call you out. Who calls people out for that? Hey, that's a non-glossy book sitting in your bookshelf. Yeah, certainly not me. Alright, let's go ahead and get this open, and you can probably tell it does not have a dust jacket. And for those wondering, this is the way that I have my books displayed on my bookshelf. So this one goes right here, right after Volume 2. So let's get this opened. We got blue bookend pages. We have Soundwave and Shockwave on the front cover. All Fall Down. So what does this collect? Well, it collects a few storylines. We have the Rise of the Decepticons. We have Wheeljack Orbital Decay, Gauging the Truth, and Storm Horizon. So this does collect issues 19 through 24 of Transformers, the new series, and Transformers Galaxies, issues 7 through 12. And it looks like Brian Ruckley writing mainly the Transformers main series, and then Sam Maggs and Brandon Easton writing the Galaxy issues. Storm Horizon is the story with Ultra Magnus. So it all kicks off with Transformers, and it's right after the big fall. They're just trying to find some Transformers that are still alive. And without going into much spoilers, right now, we're looking at the beginning of the split between the Decepticons and the Autobots. So as I mentioned, this is all a new timeline. These are new characters. You don't need to have read anything before any of the phases. These are standalone this is a brand new story arc. So you could start with Volume 1, 2, and then catch up with this. What you will see here, though, are familiar faces from the toy line, from the cartoon. And I say toy line because I'll point one particular character out. Some of the characters look like their toy counterparts more than they do the cartoon counterparts or the previous Phase 1 and 2 or 3 counterparts. So I thought that was interesting. You're going to see a lot of familiar characters that did appear in those other comics from IDW, but they act a lot different. Some of them are, how do I put it, not as crazy or not as loving as you're used to them being in the original, in the Phase 1 and 2. Now, this is really cool, but what they do with the variant covers is you get the cover to issue number 19 here, and then the variant is all the way at the end of the story. And that's for every issue. So let's keep going through here. By the way, Swindle, let's see, this is what I mean by characters that are different than their previous incarnations. So Swindle now owns a gambling casino, and he's in charge of it, of course. So he's still sly and slick like that, but just a little bit different. And you have characters from all the seasons of Transformers, not just Generation 1, 2, or 3. And then, of course, there are characters that are missing that you're wondering where they are, what they're going to do with them. Six Shot's always been one of my favorite. So if you're a fan of the toy line or the original G1, this also has nothing to do with the cartoon. It's its own universe. So there was a character I wanted to point out. Let me see if I can find him really quick. Yeah, this character right here of Huffer. See, you have him next to Gears. Gears looks like his G1 counterpart, whereas Huffer looks more like the toy version of Huffer. I can't remember what that line was, but anyway, I like little things like that. I don't know if it was on purpose or if they gave the artist the wrong picture of Huffer to draw from, but regardless, that's the way he looks. And then there's also a lot of fembots in here. You have the characters, especially in this storyline here, now that we're looking at Galaxies, of Gage, where he runs into RC, as well as Greenlight. So, actually, most of the first part of the story here is about a lot of the female robots from Transformers. And then we get to the Ultra Magnus storyline, and I think this, by far, has my favorite type of artwork from the whole series. Or at least from this particular collection here. I really enjoyed this. I don't know if it's the colors or that were done on purpose, but they have this tone and graininess to it. And this is all done by Andrew Griffith. Really like his art style. I think it's freaking awesome. And it reminds me of this guy right here, Alex Milne, who was a big Transformer artist. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the attention to detail, or maybe it's just the way he draws the mechanical parts. The book, by the way, has 280 pages, and as I mentioned, retails for $49.99. Let's go back here to look at some other artwork I may have missed. There are, like I said, variant covers towards the end of the story arcs. I'm trying to focus on story arcs that don't spoil anything, or the last page doesn't spoil anything. To talk about this particular artist right here, and that is E.J. Sue. Man, do I miss his covers. So he was the guy that did the covers for the first phase of Transformers. So phase 1 was all drawn. There was the faces, and then in the back was their their guns or their hands. But this was the artist that did those, and I love his details. I know it takes him a long time to draw, but a big fan of his art. So it's good that he's still drawing Transformers. Happy to see him here. So this is the type of artwork that you'll see in here for the most part. It looks a lot more cartoonish than, I guess, the previous faces. But that could all change. It all really depends on the artist. Now, are you going to see the beginnings of the fights between the Decepticons versus Autobots? Yeah, damn right, it's Transformers. It's been a slow burn, and finally the payoff happens in this volume in a few issues. So it's really cool. The build-up has been, well, it's been building up for 2 hardcovers, and now we're finally getting the payoff here in the 3rd hardcover. Without going into spoilers, there are some deaths, so it's always interesting to see who the writers decide to kill off, and of course who they decide to bring back. Now, this book does come with a ribbon. Heck yeah. Now, let's talk about the binding of this particular volume. Okay, so it does have glued binding. You can see the bunches going into the spine. So there's no inner flex, or inner spine. I think volume 1 is the only one that had sewn binding. Volume 2 also had the glued binding. But that, as they say, is that. Get that ribbon in there, man. What's wrong with me? If you're interested in purchasing this book, don't forget to check out our sponsor, CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online source for collected editions up to 50% off retail price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on excellent packaging, so your stuff gets to you in excellent condition, and they have amazing customer service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And for all you Minties that are watching, if you're a first-time customer, don't forget to mention that Near Mint Condition sent you their way for a promotional credit on free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your source for the hottest books with deep discounts, customer service, and excellent shipping that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and the build of this particular hardcover. Let me know in the comments down below if you're picking up the Transformers, or if you're just sticking to Phase 1, Phase 2, and the upcoming Phase 3, what your favorite phase is, if you've not read this, or if you've read it, what you thought about it. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. We are on Patreon and Spreadshop. Amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so, and all of that information is in the description down below. More importantly, everyone, please stay healthy, stay safe, and much love.